Plaintiff LaTanya Belcher dated the defendant for 5 years, but they broke up after she caught him cheating on her with her 20-year-old daughter. LaTanya claims after they broke up, the defendant got her fired and thrown in jail, and she's suing him for 2 TVs and emotional distress. Defendant David Ferguson admits that he slept with LaTanya's daughter and says he deeply regrets it, but he insists he had nothing to do with LaTanya going to jail.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Well, I want to start off by saying that Mr. Ferguson cheated on me with my 20-year-old daughter.
Ooh.
He's 52, my daughter's 20, and I'm 37. He cheated with her around March 25th of 2019.
How did you come to know?
I found texts in his phone.
What was it saying?
That they loved one another, that they wanted to be with one another behind my back.
Do you know how long this was going on?
I think almost 2 years. This was a daughter that I just came in contact with when she was 16 or 17, and I let her come live with me.
You didn't really
And I also
know
have
her.
grandkids
You didn't
with her,
really
too.
know her but 4 years.
Yes.
Did she resent the earlier
Yes.
part of her life?
Yes.
So she was kind of doing that because she resented you. That's what it sounds
Obviously.
like. But he should have had more regard for you.
Yep, I'd been with Mr. Ferguson for almost 5 years, and I still can't even believe he did what he did. And then I also want to state, though, that he's not a bad person. You know, I don't want to sit up in here and bash him. You know, he'd give me his last dime. But why he stooped that low, I'll still never know. And I also want to state, he went to my job, him and her, and told him that I had a warrant from 12 years ago. He got me fired from my job that I had been at since 2014.
Why do you think they did that?
I didn't do that.
Because I had found out about him. When I had found that out about him, I went to my sister's house, and him and her went up to my job, and they told him that they were sending the police up to my
But
job.
what do you think they were trying to achieve? They've
To
already
be with
done
each
you
other.
wrong.
To be with each other.
To get you in jail so that they can
Absolutely.
be, okay, got it.
Absolutely. And that's what they did. They accomplished to do what they did, and they did what they did. My boss called me, told me don't come back to work. He sent the police to my sister's house. I get in her car the next day. Police pull me over and say we had reason to believe that you were at your sister's house. He thought I was doing up to 5 years in prison. I only did 2.5 months. I get out, all my stuff is gone. He didn't give me nothing back except my photo albums.
Ma'am, you thought he was a good man.
Yeah, I did
he's
think
a good
that.
man. You know, you
Yeah, I
thought
did think
he
that.
was. This wasn't no one mistake doing that. That was vicious.
She lied to my face. He admitted it. I'll still
but
never know the true
But
story.
having a continuous relationship, falling in love, then get you fired and jailed so they could be together,
Yep.
and then actually.
Yeah, my boss called me. He said, David Ferguson, your daughter came up here. He said, we're sending the police to your job. Don't come back to work. I'd been on that job for 4 years.
Yeah. Let me hear from you, sir.
Her chronology of events is not correct. I don't agree with that. I'm not proud, Your Honor. I did sleep with her daughter. She didn't meet her daughter until she was 18.
Don't matter.
She invited her into our home to live with us. Her daughter moved in and started flirting with me, and Tiny went to jail on her own. Nobody went to her job.
No,
Nobody sent any
you went up
cops.
to my job,
The
and you also
detectives
called
were
the police
looking
to
for
my
you, and they
sister's
found
house.
you. I don't have anything to do with that.
How did it occur?
Well, the flirting occurred while she was still there, and then they got into a fight, and she just left me. They got into a fight, and she left.
How long?
She was gone about a week before anything happened between me and the daughter. So the daughter took on the role that she did. She
No, it
started
happened
cooking
before
for
I
me.
left.
No,
Before
we
I left,
never
because
had
I
it.
got in a fight with her before I left the house.
I understand that, but we didn't have anything going on before you left.
Yes, you did. That's how I found
We
the
had
text
flirting.
messages.
Let him finish, ma'am. Now, so far, what he has told us, if you go out of town with your girlfriends, he's gonna have sex with your 20-year-old daughter. That's okay. Within a week.
And what happened when
I didn't turn into love.
When she went to jail, you know, I have 2 autoimmune disorders. I need help doing a lot of things. I can't bathe on my own. I can't cook. I need help getting around. And all those things she did for me. And she's a great person.
That last part I don't agree with.
Well,
You need help getting around.
Well,
Go ahead.
I did pretty.
Go ahead.
I'm doing pretty good today.
So, okay, so then what happened? What does that have to do with you repeatedly sleeping with this woman's daughter?
Well, it wasn't repeated. I slept with her daughter a couple times.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. And she stayed with me 5 months.
How did it not happen again? Who said we shouldn't do this no more? Who cut it off?
I believe it was both at the same time.
Okay, you all said this is wrong, we should stop.
Yes.
All right, and you don't have text where you all were professing that you were in love? That's what she says. She has stuff where you all said you were in love with each other.
Not in love, Your Honor. I would say the texts would more describe like more
I
flirt.
love you. I want to be with you. That's what those texts describe.
I don't remember.
I know
You
what I
haven't?
read. Huh?
You don't have anything?
No, because the phone that I had was
No
still
problem.
at the house
I mean,
with him.
I believe you.
Yeah.
So whatever he talking about.
And we both just, I was in contact with her when she was in jail, and I took care of her. I took care of both of them.
You stooped low.
I did, and I paid for her a special program so we could contact by video while she was in jail. I put money on her books all the time.
So that earned you the right, didn't it?
No, it didn't.
So what are you saying that for?
I'm just
What does
saying-
that have to do with what we're talking about? We're talking about you going behind your woman's back and having sex with her 20-year-old daughter. Go ahead.
So it did happen just like I said it happened. David knew I had that warrant. David knew I had that 12-year-old warrant. He thought I was doing about 5 years. Once he got me, and
But
I did
as he
get
said,
got
it was out there, ma'am. You had it.
It was out there,
All
and
right,
what
so
I
he's
did
not
and why I did the
responsible
time
for
wasn't
anything
from
that
him.
happened. He's not responsible for anything that happened regarding that. But interfering, coming to your workplace, period, sharing your private information is wrong.
Yeah.
And he would be liable. And you say you never went to her job ever at all.
I went to her job, and I went.
Why? Why?
I went to look for her.
All right, ma'am. The two televisions.
My two televisions
What
were
happened?
purchased in the 5 years of us being together. One was purchased in 17, and the other one was purchased in 18.
You paid for both?
Yes, I paid for both of them. And we also had other TVs, but the other TVs were his, and they were like smaller version TVs. Those were his that when I met him, he had, and they were in different rooms because we had like a 3-4 bedroom house.
Okay. And, sir, what do you say about the televisions?
Your Honor, the house we were living in, she had already been in jail, and the owner put them up for sale, and it was an older house, 113-year-old house. I thought it would take at least a year to sell. It sold in 3 weeks. He sends me a registered letter, get out. I needed money, and it's not proper, but I took care of her for 5 years. I took care of the daughter and the granddaughter.
That's a beautiful thing.
And she never had to pay anything. She had to work, but she never had to pay nothing.
For all the things you've done for her and her daughter, we need to give you a hand, don't we?
Your Honor, I'd like to say it was wrong, and I apologize to you now.
I don't want the apology. Don't mean
And I
nothing
do
to
want
me.
you back.
Means absolutely nothing to me.
Whoa.
I don't mean to me, and nothing.
You should have stopped at the apology, sir. You talking about you want her back. You sound like a bigger
Like a
fool than
puke.
people think you are. Let me just say to you, with regard to the televisions, grant your judgment. You've proven that. With regard to the emotional distress, that is based on him coming to your job. He denies at first that he ever came to your job. Then when I grilled him and said, have you ever, he then admits that he did. And he said, to look for you. That means, even if he claimed he was, I know he would, if I allowed him to, I was coming just to see my woman. Look for my woman means you don't know where she is. She can't be too much of your woman if you don't know where she is. And if you don't know, because she doesn't want you to know, don't come to my job looking for me.
For real.
I'm gonna grant your judgment for the televisions and for coming to your job. That's what he did wrong.
That is
You
what he
had
did.
the
He
existing,
did a lot
no,
of
Your
things
Honor,
wrong.
nothing. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
She left me 49 times. She slept around on me. It wasn't just me taking advantage of a 20-year-old woman. She left me 49 times. I counted them.
He never should have came to my job, and he never should have sold or took something that wasn't his.
Plaintiff Treva Minks dated the defendant after they met online, and she thought he was an honest, hard-working Christian man. However, Treva claims she discovered the defendant had a criminal history, and she's suing him for a loan. Defendant Guadalupe Hernandez says when he met Treva, she claimed she was going to be celibate until marriage. But 3 days later, they started having sex. He moved in with her, and she told him that she loved him. He's countersuing for personal property and harassment.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you, ma'am.
I met the defendant on an online dating site in April of 2019. He portrayed himself as an honest, hardworking Christian man.
On the internet?
In person.
Oh, okay.
We quickly jumped into a relationship. About a week later, we entered a business agreement.
In that relationship, y'all weren't fornicating, were you? You didn't have sex before marriage. I'm gonna talk like the preacher should talk. You don't never hear that in church. No. Sex before marriage is a sin. That's what I want to hear when I come to church, Pastor. All the people sitting next to me, behind me, in front of me,
right.
sinning when they leave there at night. I'm sorry, I got off on a tangent.
I am a sinner.
You're a sinner? All right, tell me how the relationship went.
How
was it?
Horrible.
No, I'm talking about the relationship. The relationship. Get your mind out the gutter. I guess I'm the one that put it in the gutter, so.
That's what I meant, but yeah.
The relationship. Argue a lot? Was any flaws that you had a problem with? We all have flaws, but did he have any?
It was over before you knew it. So the flaws were the lying that I didn't actually find out about until later. So,
tell me about some of the lies.
So we'd entered the business agreement. I gave him $10,000. I found out afterwards from a local police officer his current criminal behavior. He was arrested in May of 2019 for vehicle theft. His most recent of 3 DUIs was December 2018. I have obviously knew none of this before jumping into all this with him, but he
What
denied.
did he do to you other than steal your money? No.
Yeah.
In terms, why did you all break up? Let's go there.
Because he stole $10,000 from me
Okay,
and never
that's
brought
the
it
reason.
back.
And I'll let you get into detail on that shortly. Sir, let me hear from you.
Yes, we made it on a dating website. And the first day, she shows up on her first date with her daughter. I should have known right then that this was odd. You know, we meet on Plaintiffs and she shows up with her daughter.
No, she's trying to keep you from making your move so soon. Go ahead. That's what
that was the first date.
Maybe if I bring my daughter, he won't come so direct because he seemed like a sex fiend. He seemed like he might be trying to have sex on the first night. So I know how to get rid of this.
We were at Starbucks.
Go ahead.
And 2 days later, I'm staying at her house. I had my own home already, but I'm staying at her house already, leaving clothes. Third night, I'm already there, and we are fornicating on the third night. But when we first meet, we're talking about church and all that stuff, and celibacy was one of the things she was talking about, and 3 days later, we're already doing it. And it just kept going.
What did she say about celibacy? She said she
wasn't going to have sex,
but was unsuccessful?
Yes. No, she said she was not going to have sex until she was married again. So those conversations.
She didn't want to have sex.
She was not going to.
Okay.
And so those conversations started fast, and we started having sex pretty fast too. And then I'm getting I love yous within 3 days. I should have known right then the obsession or what was going on with all that. And then I'm getting phone calls. She's changing what I'm eating. I'm on this new diet. I'm all organic. Everything just got all weird. So I'm like, okay. So I start backing up a little bit. And then it just went from there.
Yeah, he says, fix me. I need you to fix me. You're going to make me a better man. He's just
What did he
making up
admit
stuff.
to being wrong about him?
Well,
wrong
he told
with
me
him?
he needed to quit drinking. I said, just because I don't drink doesn't mean you don't need to, quit drinking. Oh, I need to quit drinking. You need to make me a better man. All this stuff, he told me to put him on a diet. He told me about his physical problems. He told me to hook him up with all this. He said, I love you. He said, oh, I just want to make sure you love me too. And he rushed just as much as I did. He's trying to put that on me. I should have been careful.
Most men are semi-dogs, so they're gonna pursue that. Don't be surprised at that. Tell me about the money. What happened with the loan? How does he owe you?
So, well, the $400, this case, he supposedly owned a pizza restaurant, needed to buy ingredients because he lost his wallet. So I loaned him the money. He
How
said,
long after meeting him did he tell you he had a pizza restaurant?
he told me right away that he had a pizza
And how long did it take you to figure out he didn't?
After all this happened, after
And how
he
long
took
is
off
that,
with the
months?
$10,400 a week
What,
later.
months? Or-
No, a week later.
Oh, 1 week later?
Yeah.
You found out he was scamming.
Yeah, because after he took off with the money and didn't return it, I started looking into
Them
everything.
outfits, and you didn't see any pizza outfits walking out the door. He didn't have a little hat on or nothing.
He even
He
tried.
walking out the door like that. I'm gonna he the pizza man. Go
He tried
ahead,
selling
man.
that same pizza restaurant to someone else, a pizza restaurant he didn't own. I found out from the
That's
owner.
big time fraud.
Yeah.
All right. Tell me about the circumstances in which you loaned him the money, and when did he say he would repay? And last time you asked him for your money, what has he said?
So when I loaned him the money, he said, I'll have it back this weekend. And then so come Tuesday morning when I started uncovering, he didn't give the deposit for the food truck we were supposed to buy. Tuesday morning on the 7th, I asked him for my $10,400 back. He said, done. But then he just kept putting it off. Give me a few hours. I need to talk to my people. Give me 24 hours. Give me a week. No, take me to court. Let them sort through this. And I'll sort through what? You owe me money. And so, and he admits in the text messages I have clearly, he doesn't, there's many times or three different
Just
times
let me
at
read
least.
it. I'll read it. Sir,
Sure.
why don't you tell me about the loan?
Well, the loan, there wasn't a loan, it was a gift. We're planning she's thinking we're planning our life together. And I did own the restaurant. I come home from the restaurant every day from work and I got cash in my pocket. Then she should have collected it the next day if that was the case. And the $10,000, that's a whole different story. If all that, I'm all the way in Chicago for $400 because of this obsession. She wanted to see me, here I am. I don't know.
You're the one that called me last night drunk telling me to call you back. I don't want to see you. I want nothing to do with you. I want my money back.
Mutual.
And I never want to see your face again. But the problem is you have nothing. So how am I ever going to get my money back from you?
Whatever you say is what you're
Lying.
saying. I had my pizza. I took
All
her
you
to
do
the
is
restaurant and her
lie.
daughter to the restaurant with me. They both came to my restaurant when it was closed.
The one
and
that
went
you
in.
don't own.
And
The one that you don't own
I don't own it anymore.
anymore.
However,
You never owned it.
However,
Why don't you tell me why you told her I figured you could drop by and meet me after that? Can you confirm this meeting when you wake up? I need my money. And you say, done.
Mm-hmm.
well, what she was talking about was a $10,000. We were going on a business venture for a food truck, and we were putting a $10,000 deposit on the food truck. Okay, these people, we were both involved in it. She didn't have much to do, even talk to the people. Well, a deposit is a deposit. This guy was holding the truck. After the
When did he
weekend,
make the 10,000?
I called him. He
Hold
didn't.
on, man. When was
it's not
it
even-
made?
she don't
Sir,
even-
when was the $10,000 made?
it was on a Saturday, maybe
Saturday in May,
about
first,
the 5th,
second, before?
the 4th or the 5th
Of May?
Yeah.
Sometime around there?
Yeah.
All right. And when were you supposed to repay it, or you weren't?
Well, the $400 was the $10,000.
$10,000.
It was going to be repaid through a business. We were going to open a
When?
food truck.
When?
Throughout, it was going to be maybe 18 months, something like that.
Well, that's why I'm curious, and that's why I ask you, why were you telling her 1 week later that you were going to meet with her to pay her back?
Because I was trying to work with the guy because obviously
You said you didn't even expect it for 18 months.
No.
No, yeah. You said you didn't expect to make any money for 18 months. That's what you said. On May 8th, you were talking about meeting her to pay her then. She wasn't supposed to see profits for 18 months. And then a few days later, she's asking you for her money, and you're saying, okay, I'll meet you. I'll give you your money back. Your claim is dismissed for perjury. Whatever it is you were going to tell me is dismissed. Judgment for a plaintiff, $470 is yours for the unpaid loan, which clearly he admitted he was going to pay. Have a good day.
Plaintiff Caitlin Watkins says her ex has a child with the defendant. And a week before he went to jail, he convinced Caitlin that they should move in with the defendant. However, Caitlin discovered her ex and the defendant were still hooking up, and she's suing for breach of contract and emotional distress. Defendant Jennifer Jedra says when she agreed to let Caitlin move in, she thought Caitlin was just friends with her child's father, and she didn't find out the truth until a year later. She's countersuing for harassment and rent.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Okay. I've known Jennifer for about a year now. My ex-boyfriend, she's the mother of his child. When we first got together, I kind of knew about her, but he didn't really tell me much. I just knew that he had a baby mom. So basically from there, he was about to be incarcerated. He decided that he would have me and her move in together. And at first I was like, no, that's awkward. Like, that's the mother of your child. And he was like, well, she does everything I tell her to. So from there, I was like, she agreed. She agreed to it. So I was like, okay.
You did too.
Yeah, I did. Okay. So from there, you know, he basically told me, like, don't show affection in front of her.
Affection
like,
to who?
Me and him.
I thought he was in jail.
He moved me in before he went in. So he was there for like a week.
Okay.
Yeah, so we went from there. And then, so basically, they were kissing. I seen them being affectionate. So from there, I was like, well, obviously they're still together. So he basically had us move in. And
how'd that work out?
We're here.
How long did you stay together?
A year. Yeah.
And you all, you say we're here. Does that mean you all never got along?
Me and her?
Yes, as
Of
wife-in-laws.
course.
Okay, I don't know. That's why I asked you. I said, how did that go for a year? You said, we're here. That means you didn't get along. And now when I ask you, you say, yeah, you and your wife-in-law did get along for a year. All right.
I'm sorry.
You tell me about you and your wife-in-law. Go ahead. What do you want me to know?
Yeah, so he had her move in last year of October. She was paying rent for a whole year up until last month. I didn't know the relationship between the two until she decided to come forth last month.
And your boyfriend said, I know her from?
He said she was a friend.
Okay, and she needed a place to stay.
Yes, because
and so
wherever
would
she
you
was
rent
staying
one of the bedrooms to her?
Yes.
That was your understanding. All right. Other than that, you never had a clue?
Nope.
All right. What
I
did
do
you
have
want
something to say.
Uh-huh.
The reason why I sticked around so long was because I had already moved in. I felt really bad for her because of what he was doing.
What was he
and I'm
doing
not
to
the
her?
only woman, Jennifer, just so you know. I'm not the only
Well,
one.
we're not together, so at this point it don't really matter.
Okay.
As far as I know, you two are still together.
No, definitely not.
Where you live now?
I live on my own.
Okay.
I got my own spot now.
Good.
So.
And when she was there, how did things go? She says they were all right.
Yeah, we were friends. We were okay. I have 3 kids, and we all live together.
Yeah, and I didn't want to leave them in a ditch. That's why I stayed.
Your witness wants to say something. Do you want her to speak now?
Yeah, she can speak.
Okay, stand up. State your name.
My name is Melanie Moon.
What do you want me to know?
I'm her sister. First of all, she's a liar because according to what she told me, the one time I did meet her, and I already know what she does, so we'll
What
put
did
that
she
down.
do? What does
I'm
she
pretty
do?
sure she's a prostitute. Prior to September of her saying she has to run away because she fears her life of this man, I'm pretty sure my sister even claims, she wasn't there for like 6 months. So who pays rent somewhere, doesn't ever come, but makes sure to drop off rent money, doesn't clock into a job.
Someone that is
and
scared for their life.
Second of all, she claimed to me that she's not an ex.
He threatened to
she
shoot
never.
up my dad's house.
Is this
He
guy a
also
pimp
beat
or
me
something?
up.
Is he a pimp or a lightweight pimp? What is
He wants to be.
he a lightweight pimp? Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
my sister and this man have been together for 4 years, aside from having a kid together. So
That
I
just
wanna
goes to
know
show you that he's a
who
con
is
artist.
mentally deranged.
He's a con
to not
artist.
know that there is a relationship going on, and who is mentally deranged.
You want me to tell you
stick
who?
around.
You want me to tell you who? She's the one say she didn't know. So
Okay.
are you calling your sister mentally deranged? Have
No,
a seat.
'cause
That's what
she
you
has
said.
many
You
different
said
things
who?
to say.
You got to be mentally deranged to not know while living there
I figured
that they
that
were
out
together.
instantly.
She knew.
I figured that out
She didn't know. She's mentally deranged if we go with what you say. Now have a
Her
seat.
attitude-
Have a seat.
She knew what was
She
going
said
on.
she knew.
Yeah,
You
I
Your
did.
sister's the one that didn't know. You said whoever didn't know was mentally deranged.
But 1
She
minute-
knew. It's a bad sister. You got a good wife-in-law and a bad sister. What is the 1700 for, ma'am?
She changed the locks on me after she realized that I wasn't gonna live there anymore.
When was
she
that?
She was mad.
When?
That was the 18th. When she told me she
Of
changed
what?
the locks. September, sorry.
September? Mm-hmm. What occurred? Tell me the circumstances.
I basically told her the truth, and she was like, that's not going to change anything between you and me. I have the text messages showing that she was okay. You know, nothing was going to change between us. But I told her, I said, look, I got to go. I have my own life to live. You know, I helped you out this whole year.
You told her you have to go.
Yeah, and
then what happened?
She was like, she sounded a little bit mad.
Did you say I'm going next month?
By the end of the month.
Okay. You
Yeah.
told her you'd be gone by the end of September.
Yes.
And then what happened?
And then a few days later, I had sent her some pictures of some stuff. Because I'm sitting here trying to tell, I'm putting the
Pictures
truth in
of
your
what?
face.
Like what,
Yeah, but
ma'am?
you kept
Ma'am,
going.
like what?
That
like
he's
what?
a con artist.
I don't know what that means. You sent her some pictures of him in the act of conning, him in the what? So that's what did you show her?
It was cards that
Pardon
he
me?
was sending me. Cards, like greeting cards. Like, I miss you, I love you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then what?
She thought we were in cahoots. So she basically was like, I don't trust anyone, so I'm changing the lock.
When?
And or the locks have been changed.
When did she tell you that?
That was the 18th.
Because you were
Okay.
threatening me.
No, I was not.
And
Yes,
you
were.
had sent
Proof.
her the pictures by that time. Ma'am, hello? You had sent her the pictures by that time.
Yes.
Okay. And certainly you all had a hostile environment and couldn't stay together after that. And there's such a thing called the constructive eviction, and that is when it would be impossible for you all to exist peacefully under the same roof. You sending pictures to her and her getting angry about it or whatever her reaction was created a hostile environment. You started.
Your
Now,
Honor,
what are you
I
suing?
didn't-
Yes.
I didn't change the locks until October 8th, and I have my proof.
Let's
I
see
just
that.
said it.
Let's see that.
Until October 8th. So why did you have me? Why did you control
Because
me?
you kept threatening me.
You told me
I
I have
proof
proof
saying that you were
that
going to
she
send
said she
people.
You
changed
want
the
to speak
locks on the
again?
18th.
I'm not going to let you hurt
No,
your sister's
I'm-
case like that. Have
I'm
a seat.
not trying to
have
hurt.
a seat.
Because she has evidence
Have a
that she's not
seat.
speaking.
Go out. Take it
Okay,
out.
miss, you're
I
done.
told you to have a
Miss,
seat and you
miss,
kept talking. Bye-bye. What is it you have?
I have proof that she says she changed the locks on September 18th.
All right.
She was also threatening me, Your Honor.
So I need to get
No,
your
it
stuff
wasn't.
because first, so my sister can move her stuff in to help me and you won't be able to come in unless I'm there. Locks have been changed. All right. Locks have been changed on September.
said
But
that,
you all
Your
had a
Honor?
hostile environment, and I'm going to conclude that was a constructive eviction. And lastly,
I have pictures too, Your Honor. She still has her stuff in my house.
Because
And
you controlling me
the-
when I can get my stuff.
But
okay,
you also
ma'am,
say
so
you're
that's
not
enough.
coming.
How does she breach the contract?
Because I paid rent on the
Mm-hmm.
1st of September. And she
Perfect.
changed the locks on me halfway through the month due to
After you
personal
started the
reasons.
mess, after you disrupted the household.
Well, I told her the truth on what
You
her...
disrupted the household, sending her things and continuing to create. You told her once, that was enough.
Yeah.
But yet you had to keep going. Now you want to send
Okay, but
pictures.
the thing
Now you
is-
want to upset her. Now you want to disrupt it. Now you get put out.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. My mother's stuff is in that house. She's
Mm-hmm.
deceased. She told me she didn't believe me. She thought we were in cahoots.
Have you attempted to get your things, and has she refused?
Yes.
She refused to give them to you.
She isn't. She's letting me in and out when she wants to.
Okay, I would too. It's her house. What other problem other than she let you in and out when she wants to let you in and out of her place?
No,
all
I
right.
told her.
Have you all worked out her getting her things back? What's
Your
the
Honor,
problem?
She keeps, like this that past Sunday, I even have messages. She was supposed to come on Sunday. She's saying her people, that whoever is supposed to be helping her, keep flaking on her. I've set aside my disagreements or stuff that I have to do just so this girl can come get her stuff, and it's 3 or 4 different occasions. And she still won't come get her stuff.
I have stuff to do, so you have to be done by 3. I'm trying to get a hold of my friend. He's not answering. Got an excuse every time for you, like you don't have nothing else to do. How do you suggest we can resolve her getting her things?
For her to make a point to get someone to come help her move her stuff. So
Do you have someone you could designate to come and get it?
I also have
You don't want to answer my question.
documentation showing that she was giving me trouble. I kept asking her
All
what
right,
day is
so
good
both
for you.
have. So you
And then
both been
she
giving
made
each
it
other
to where she told me to come the very next day, last minute.
Hey, you playing games? I'd rather take care of it after Chicago. I'm prepared to do that. So you're telling her you'll take care of it after you leave here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you don't get nothing. Take care of it after you leave Chicago. With regard to your claim, $800 for harassment and unpaid rent. How so?
Threatening messages. I have threatening messages.
Let's see it. And what is the emotional distress from you?
Because she changed the locks and it was really hard for me to get my stuff.
Okay.
That's why
no,
everything
it wasn't
just kept
hard. It
getting
was hard
switched
because
around.
you kept flaking. That's why it was
Well, yeah,
hard.
because
I'm reading
I'm
it,
only
ma'am.
one
That's
person.
enough. That's enough. I'm reading it. I just read it. So no, she didn't do anything to interfere with you getting your things. That's cool. I'll send my peoples over there to get my. And you don't want to meet my people, so you might want to either keep that door unlocked for me when I tell you to, or you will have a problem.
And I have 3 kids, Your Honor.
And that shows that
Judgment
she
for the
changed the locks,
counterclaimant.
and
This
then I
is
got
certainly
mad.
harassment. Regardless of what the rent was, that is $800 of harassment to make you that insecure, threaten you with your children there. Your claim is dismissed. It was a constructive eviction, so you shouldn't have lived together. And with regard to the emotional distress, I haven't heard anything she's done to you to cause emotional distress to keep you from getting your things. She gave you several opportunities and you flaked on her. Your claim is dismissed. Yours is granted. Have a good day.
Just basically want her out of my life and to get her stuff.
Okay. And basically what I want to say to you is you wouldn't have known nothing if I didn't tell you.
Okay, well now I know.
So
We're
if
not
it wasn't
together.
for me,
I don't care, Kate.
you would still be with that
You're
con
probably
artist.
still with him.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
She needs to shut up, and she's the one that's mentally deranged, not my sister.
Plaintiff Kathy Seifker says immediately after she started dating the defendant, he moved in with her. Kathy claims she soon suspected the defendant was using her, and she's suing him today for the cost of a phone and insurance. Defendant Christopher Dingledine says Kathy has a history of violence, and not only did she stab someone with a fork, but she has numerous domestic violence cases against her. Christopher claims after they broke up, she started dating his best friend, and he denies owing her for anything.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Yes. I met the defendant when he used to sing karaoke with my father. He harassed my father so much where he eventually gave in and gave him my Facebook account. And
Where did he know your father from, you say?
it was when they sang karaoke at the Shamrock.
Okay, at a local establishment.
Yeah, at a local bar.
Mm-hmm. And you came by and met him or something one day?
No.
Well, how did he know about you?
My dad talked about me.
Had he showed him a picture?
Yes, on
Okay.
Facebook.
Go ahead.
And he
so what would he do?
He got my Facebook account finally with my dad, from my dad, and messaged me on Facebook. Then he asked me out to go to Subway with him.
Okay, did you?
For a first date, yes.
Okay, people go where they can afford to go. All right.
Anyways.
Like I did Linda, my wife. I pulled out a bunch of few hundreds on top, right?
Yeah.
Then I had like 51 in the middle. This is when I met my wife on campus. I was still half hustling. I've said it before, selling joints, doing whatever to scuffle through as a young orphan, quite frankly. I was 18 and had a mother and father. And talked fast to her, told her I was going to take her shopping. And at least he took you somewhere. I tricked her. I didn't take her anywhere. I made sure we went to the mall at 9:05, and the mall was closed. Believe me, she's done plenty of shopping since then, though. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
She's made up for that.
Then he wanted to move in with me right away.
He wanted to, or he was?
He did move in right away.
Okay.
When
that was pretty good foot long.
Yeah, I know, right?
Subway, the Subway.
Yeah, hey.
Come on, the Subway. You said Subway, right?
Subway.
All right, you either get half a sandwich or you get... Go ahead, y'all have some dirty minds. You either get a 6-inch... I'm just telling you. I'm done. I'm trying to explain what they serve legitimately, and y'all trying to act like I'm saying something wrong. Go ahead, ma'am. So he did move in.
Yes, he did move in. Then after, had me buy him a computer. Then after that, wanted to be on the lease on my where I lived at, and then be on my the trailer that I owned. Started drama with the neighbor woman over dog poop, where he called her a and
the dog?
No.
Was he talking to the dog, I hope?
No,
or
he
about
was talking
the dog?
to the neighbor.
Oh, that's not nice. Let me hear from you, sir. Give me some background here.
Well, Your Honor, if I'd have known what I know now, what I didn't know back then, no one ever gotten with her. But hey, what can I say? I like older women. But you know, she's got.
You look younger than you.
Yeah, she's younger than me. I like them older.
All right, go ahead.
But you know, I got a background here.
Send you down to the nursing homes then, because she's not old.
No.
She's not old at all. You like
I don't
older
like them
women?
that old.
Get him to the nursing homes.
Yeah, I don't like them that old.
Go ahead.
Anyway, if I'd have known that she was, you know, very vindictive and very violent, from the background check I have here, would never pursued her.
Your Honor, he made.
You know, I did. What's that, Your Honor?
You have a background check there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's see it. What does it indicate?
Back in 2007 and on further, we've got multiple cases of where she has stabbed someone with a fork because she's gotten mad.
Okay.
There's potential, I mean, numerous domestic violences against one of her ex-husband.
Yeah.
She's got on there.
Yeah, you don't play with them, ma'am.
She's got an assault against a neighbor back in Florida, protection orders. Back when we dated and when we broke up, she accused me of domestic, you know. And
You're very violent.
so I had to, you know, go through that rigor thing with nothing happened of it because it didn't happen. After we broke up, she got with my best friend, who was my roommate, who is now my roommate now, you know, and she when she gets mad, she acts out. Well, she turned the gas on him, knowing he smokes cigarettes, knowing that he can't smell anything. If it wasn't for his son, the house would have blown up.
So this is the man that actually threw a sandwich at me. At my back, a sandwich, and threw a sandwich at me, Your Honor. This man threw a sandwich at me. He's talking about a man that threw a sandwich at me.
Now, let us back it up there, Your Honor.
Would you eat the sandwich, Your Honor?
Now, this so you know, Your Honor.
Was it from Subway? I don't know what.
It was Subway!
Well, it was a 16 sub that just happened to have
I wouldn't, but you got 20 pages for violent activity. Sir, something wrong with you. No, this is 30 pages of violence.
I didn't know
and
that,
you
Your
won't
Honor.
pay this woman her money? You know now.
Yeah.
Don't you think you need to pay her?
Well, Your Honor, I agreed to pay her until she decided she was going to decide to shut my phone off where I couldn't talk to my bosses.
Let me hear her
family,
talk
and
about
everything
that.
else.
She's suing you over the phone. Tell me what happened, ma'am.
Well, he agreed to pay $338 for the phones. We had a contract And he had a time frame, and he never paid in that time frame. He did not pay last month's bill for April and has not paid.
But was the bill in your name, or?
It was in my name, but the phone was under his name.
Okay, and you were cutting it on and off?
No, I actually suspended the line because of the simple fact he did not pay the bill.
How many times?
Like, only once.
And you're suing for the phone, not the service. So what's your defense to paying for the physical phone that you still have? You still have it?
No, it's a paperweight. It's a $200 paperweight. And I feel the day that she shut that phone off and disabled my text messages.
We're not talking about service. We're talking about a physical phone that you were to pay her for and you failed to pay her. And so far, you haven't given me a reasonable explanation or a legal defense. One last time, why shouldn't you pay her for a physical item that you purchased and own?
Because, Your Honor, she technically owns that phone, and I have messages where I have told her I will give the phone back to her, and she has agreed. Well, fine. You give me the phone back, I'll pay you.
Did you?
What's that?
Did you?
No, she.
Well, then you still owe her $338 for the plaintiff. Have a good day. He still owes you.
You're a dumb. You're worthless, and you're a piece of. I'm glad that the judge understood that he's just so full of it and that he thinks he's all that in a bag of chips when he's not.
I mean, she's had numerous opportunities to come get the phone and never once decided to come get it.
Plaintiff Angela Bradley was friends with the defendant, and she allowed him to move in with her after his girlfriend was killed in an accident. Angela claims the defendant was abusing meth and heroin, and they started dating after she helped him get clean. But she's suing him today for rent and emotional distress. Defendant Jesse Huckabee says while living with Angela, he came home one day to get his work clothes, and Angela was naked in bed with another man. Jesse claims after he caught Angela cheating, he moved out of their home, and he's countersuing for a rent refund.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Okay, so me and Jesse have known each other basically our whole lives. In 2013, he was in a really bad car accident that killed his girlfriend. At that time, he became homeless. I let him move in my house.
In
2013, yes. Mm-hmm. I let him move in with me, and he was using a lot of heavy drugs the whole time, Your Honor, and
like what?
Heroin and meth. He was very depressed. I helped him get clean. I knew a lot about it because I too had struggled with addiction in the past. Mm-hmm. I helped him get clean and pick up the pieces of his life, helped him with his legal matters, go to court.
When did he get clean? First, if there was a relapse, I don't know.
When did he get clean?
Yes.
Oh gosh, I believe it was in.
While you were together, how many years was he using?
Almost the whole time.
So you helped him get clean towards the end?
Yes, towards the end.
Okay. All right. And what else you want me to know? How were things other than his addiction while you all were together?
They were okay. My mom helped him get a really good job. We helped him get back on his feet.
But during his addiction, it was the whole house. I mean, you all had problems all the time.
Of course, yes,
okay.
we did.
What type of problems?
Just fighting and arguing a lot.
Okay. And you helped him get clean. Your mom helped him get a job. And how did that work out?
It worked out well. We were doing really well then for several months. And in January 2017, we signed a lease together.
Okay.
We moved into our own home.
What was his share?
His share was $600.
Okay. Let me hear from him with some background first, and then I'll get back to you.
So let me paint a picture for you, Your Honor. I was a hard-working man after recovery, apparently. I come home to our house and we share together, and she's in bed with another man. Okay.
Were you expected to come home?
In the house.
Give me a little more background on that.
I came home to get my work clothes so I can go to work.
Yeah, you were gone all night.
Where had you been?
At my sister's house.
He's lying.
I'm not lying about going out.
All night?
all night.
Come on, man.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead. What else? All right, so you came home after a long night of smoking, snorting, shooting, whatever
I was
you
still
were
clean
doing.
at this time.
He was smoking then.
All right, go ahead, sir.
can
So
hear
you
me.
came home to get your work clothes at what time?
It was about 6:30
a.m. All right, and when you went in?
The door was locked, but it wasn't latched all the way, so the door pushed open. I pushed open, there they are in the bed, undressed.
So how did that go?
Yeah.
It went non-violent because there is 4
good.
children in the house, so I remained calm. you
Good
know.
man.
There's
You
kids in
couldn't
the
have been
house.
that high, so good.
I
because
grabbed my
you acted
belongings.
reasonably.
I grabbed everything of mine that I
lighted
could
it.
fit in my car, in my Honda, and I left. And I continued to pay rent for the welfare of those children because I had grown attached to those children.
Your Honor.
Okay. And obviously you're suing for the balance of the rent?
Yes. Can I say
And-
something?
Mhm.
When
Go
we moved
ahead.
into the house and he got super controlling. I don't know if it's because he helped get the house, that his name was on the lease. I wasn't allowed to go to the grocery store by myself. I wasn't allowed to have Facebook Messenger. He was trying to track my phone. I wasn't allowed to have any guy friends over. He totally flipped the script. He was being gone all night long and not coming home. We were fighting a lot. My ex.
Yeah, but it sounds like, you know,
for
He did not find us.
you broke one of the very minor rules.
Yes, Your Honor. Okay.
Having a man
I
in
understand
the
that
bed
it looked
or at
bad,
the house,
but
let alone in the bed.
we were not undressed. That's a bold-faced lie.
Told you y'all
My
were
ex-
playing cards. See there?
No.
Go ahead. You wasn't undressed. Y'all were playing cards or reading the
Okay.
Bible.
No, we weren't in the bed undressed. He's lying right
I didn't
now.
say
in the courtroom.
undressed. You were in the bed. Doing
Okay,
what?
my
Tell
ex-
him I'm trying to stick up for you. You were
I
playing cards. Yeah or not?
Sure.
You were reading the Bible. Come on, talk to me.
I never ever cheated on Jesse, ever.
What were
Not the
y'all
whole
doing
time.
laying in the
The whole
bed
time.
then? What were you doing?
My ex came over, showed up. He was intoxicated. My friends were with him. We weren't by ourselves. I had other friends there as well. He
The bedroom
passed
door
out in
was
the
locked,
bed.
Your Honor.
The bedroom door was not locked. He passed out in the bed. I waited for Jesse up till 5 a.m. He was ignoring all my messages. I told him that
Well,
my
she
ex.
shut off my phone after I paid $200 for that phone.
Because you
Talking
refused to pay
about
the
her
bill.
calling
No.
you while you were on your bench. Let her finish.
He showed up. He passed out in the bed. I left him in there. We were all out hanging out in the living room and stuff. When I went back in there, he was asleep. I tried to wake him up. I left him there. I covered him up with a blanket. At 5 a.m., I was tired. I went to sleep. I had my own blanket. I was on the other side of the bed with my back towards him. We were not undressed.
When you say he just happened to drop by, I don't understand that.
Because
Is
we're
that
friends.
something he doesn't have a problem with? Your
Of
ex
course, he had a
stopping
problem
by?
with me having any guy friends at
So
all.
I'm just
I couldn't
saying,
even have a Facebook
What
Messenger.
was that about?
Well, we were fighting at that time. He was staying on all night long.
So you wanted him over there for? How does that make
I
you
was-
want
no.
your ex in your bed?
No, I didn't ask him to come over. He came over on his own,
That's
and
what
I
I'm
let
saying.
him fall asleep
He
because I
does
didn't want
that
him
frequently.
driving.
Did he do that frequently? And did he
No,
do
that
that
never
with his
happens.
permission?
No, I did not. Of course not. I did everything
Right,
for
so,
Jesse.
So you're acting like it was the guy just dropped by. How does an ex drop by late at night unless you've already been dealing with him? Who has the nerve to do that?
No, that's incorrect.
Good timing.
That's incorrect.
Living with a man. But we're gonna move along, ma'am. He didn't go for it and neither am I. So get a better story for the next boyfriend. How does he owe you for the rent specifically?
Because he canceled the
What
rent
months?
check.
What month?
October, November, December.
And when did he move?
He moved out in April, the end of April.
April?
Yeah.
And so you had an obligation, sir, to make sure she had a replacement roommate for up to 90 days for sure, a reasonable amount of time you would pay until she gets a replacement. She
The
had
guy in the
one.
bed was the
That's a good
replacement.
point. And if you think about it, she had a replacement
Your Honor,
before
I
you
could-
left. Sir, what do you say to that? She says that you broke the lease by moving out and that you haven't paid.
I did continue to pay the rent for 5 months after that.
5 months after leaving?
Yes. And I was informed that she did have a roommate move in, and that's why I canceled the rent
That's
check.
a lie, Your Honor. I have pictures to prove. I have the room.
Did he pay for 5 months after
He
leaving?
did. He let me collect it. He
That's
let
a
his.
yes? You're talking
Yes.
fast. Okay, good enough. That's all I wanted to know is yes. He paid for 5 months after leaving. 3 months is a reasonable amount of time. You're telling me he paid 5 months. Now, how did he cause you emotional distress? That's the other part of your lawsuit. What?
Because I loved him. And
You loved
and
him?
our relationship went sour. He gave up. He was staying
I don't
gone
mean
all
to
night
laugh,
long.
because I know you're very serious.
I am very
You
serious.
loved him, and your relationship went sour. And
That's
all
right.
of that came because you put a man in his bed right while he was out at night. And you want to sue him.
Your Honor, that was my bed. That was my bed.
Oh, she owned the bed.
I owned everything in that house because
Okay,
he didn't
well,
have
if it wasn't
anything.
your bed, sir, it was all right.
It was my bedroom.
It was all right then.
Our bedroom.
Yeah, everything was yours once we got a house
Our
together,
bedroom.
right?
All right,
guess.
ma'am.
Yeah,
The
'cause I paid
emotional
the rent.
distress. What has he done to you?
I had to take 2 days off of work to come here, and also I wasn't able to buy my kids Halloween costumes this year. He didn't tell me, hey, by the way, I'm canceling the rent check. He didn't give me a heads up. My bank account was overdrawn.
Sir, your rent refund, how does she owe you for that? You're suing to have your money refunded.
Because she had a roommate, and I was never informed that she had a roommate.
Do you have any evidence that she denies it? And so do you
I don't
any
have evidence, but
I have evidence, Your Honor, that I didn't have a roommate.
Well,
I
how
have
can you
pictures
prove
of all,
a
I have
negative?
pictures of all my rooms with my children in them. I have 4 children and 2 extra rooms.
All right.
okay.
So where's a roommate
They're
gonna move
like the
into?
guy. They sleep with you. All right, sir.
They don't sleep with me. They have their own rooms.
Sir, the rent refund, you paid 5 months,
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
$600 each.
Yes, Your
She
Honor.
admits to that.
Yes.
And the law only requires you to pay 3 months, which is a reasonable amount of time. So I'll give you 2 months worth of refund. $1,200 is your judgment, and unpaid rent, as you heard me, as part of that ruling, is that he has paid you all the rent he owed you and more. He only owed you for 3 months after leaving. With regard to emotional distress, I thought maybe you were saying that on his behalf. So clearly your claim is dismissed. Have a good day.
I'm going home.
Truth.
I'm going home. No, you're on drugs now to this moment. You're on meth right now. Drug addict, and you're collecting Social Security under the table while you're working.
I report my
You're a
wages.
piece of no, you don't, and I'm going to report it, and you think I'm not because I am.
I report them.
Dirtbag, piece of drug addict.